Mother smiled as she handed me a single wrapped package, the same patronizing grin she always had when she was about to make a point at my expense. I pulled at the cheap wrapping paper and opened the box. Inside was a self-help book about forgiveness and a dollar store planner. A few relatives shifted uncomfortably. My aunt, the only one in the family who never played into my mother's act, raised an eyebrow. I smiled, held up the book, and nodded. Thank you. My mother's grin faltered just for a second, like she had expected me to react differently. Maybe a flash of hurt, maybe an embarrassed outburst. But I had played this game too many times. I tucked the book back into the box and placed it beside me. Then I reached under my chair and pulled out my gift for her. A neatly wrapped box, bigger than the one she had given me, tied with a gold ribbon. The second my mother saw it, her expression changed. She lit up, eyes gleaming as she carefully untied the ribbon and pulled open the box. She probably thought I had finally come to my senses, that I had given in, that maybe I had splurged on something extravagant to make up for all the years of ungratefulness. She reached inside and pulled out the stack of papers. For a moment, she didn't register what she was looking at. Her manicured nails flipped through the pages slowly, her face shifting from pleased to confused. Then she stopped. Her mouth twitched. Her fingers clenched. The color drained from her face. The room, which had been filled with laughter and chatter just moments before, went silent. I leaned back in my chair, speaking clearly so everyone could hear. Since the house was going into foreclosure, I stepped in and bought it before the bank could sell it to a stranger. So now I own it. A sharp intake of breath. My father froze. My brother and sister looked between me and my mother like they had just walked into the middle of a horror movie. My aunt, who had been sipping her wine, actually let out a laugh and quickly covered her mouth. My mother's hand shook as she flipped through the papers again, her eyes darting over the legal documents like she was hoping to find a loophole, a mistake, something that would undo what she was reading. But there was nothing. It was real. Then the screaming started. She shot up from her chair, gripping the papers so tightly that they crumpled in her hands. Words poured out of her, fast and furious, accusations, insults, outrage. How dare you do this to me? You think you're so smart, don't you? Buying my home? You're trying to humiliate me in front of my family. It wasn't just anger, it was full-blown hysteria. She slammed the papers onto the table, her chest heaving. Some of the younger cousins watching from across the room looked scared. My brother clenched his jaw, but didn't say anything. My sister, still clutching her new designer bag, sat frozen like she was afraid of getting dragged into it. My mother turned, looking for someone to back her up. She locked eyes with my father, waiting for him to step in, to defend her. But for the first time in my life, my father actually spoke up against her. I told you this was going to happen, he muttered. You never listen. The rage on my mother's face flickered for just a second, replaced by something else, something closer to panic. She turned back to me, voice shaking. You can't just do this. You can't just take my home away from me. I didn't react. I reached for my glass of water, took a sip, and set it back down before I spoke. I didn't take it, I said, keeping my voice calm. You lost it. A few people in the room looked away, pretending to check their phones. Others were watching closely, barely blinking. My mother's hands balled into fists. You wanted this, she hissed. You waited for this moment. I didn't argue. The meltdown escalated fast. My mother grabbed the stack of papers and threw them across the room. The pages scattered over the floor, sliding under chairs and across the carpet. She was shaking, her entire body vibrating with rage. What do you expect me to do? I didn't flinch. I expect you to either start paying rent or find another place to live. Silence. For the first time, my brother spoke. His voice was tight. So what happens now? I leaned back, unfazed. That's up to her. My mother's breathing was ragged. Then, as if she was trying to regain control, she straightened up and smoothed out her dress. She looked at me, eyes burning. I will never pay rent to you. She said it like it was a declaration.